Greetings, folks. Welcome back to the Tractorfella channel, where we know nothing about tractors. On today's episode, we're going to do a little bit of a hodgepodge. I may or may not have something special for this machine, and that machine, it will not start. I'm pretty sure it lost spark, and I don't know why. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Let's start with this beast here, because it has fuel. I've choked it, I've shot ether at it, and it will not fire at all. Let's hook up a battery and see if we have spark. So step one, this battery is toast. So we have the gulu hooked up to it. It looks like it's already blinking. Let's hit the switch to give it constant power. Now we should be able to hear a relay with this switch here. It's like a remote control, so if your kid goes wild, you can shut it off. But let's see if we can hear the lock and unlock. I do not. It's also possible that it needs to be in the ignition. Oh, listen. Okay, so we know that's working. We're currently in the unlocked position. Let's see if we can fire it up. All right, here we go. Brake. We're in the run position. Choke is on. Fuel is on. Nope, nothing. Where's my ether? Where are you? Let's try again with some juice. All right in the air filter. Smells like ether in here. Here we go. No. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, all right, let's pull the plug. It's just a little guy. Is it our 5/8, which is for spark plug use only? Indeed it is. Oh, where are all of my sockets? They're probably all over the place because I never put them away from the last project of the mower swap. Wow, that's a teeny little guy. Look at that little guy. All right, well, let's plug her in, see if we get any lightning action. Can you see? You can see. I can see. 3, 2, 1. Are you kidding me? I mean, we have all the spark. Okay, so the next question is, have we lost compression? So this compression test, my wands aren't small enough. However, this little guy, what is this called? M10? Okay, is that a normal thing? I don't know. I'm not very good at my thread sizes and what they're called. There are some people that can just look at it and say, oh yeah, that's a such and such and yada yada thread. Whoop, sorry. Wrecking my most important tool in the garage. Oh, look at that. That is exactly what we needed. What a great day. Okay. I'm going to take that out of there so we don't light all the ether on fire. Here we go. As always, large numbers are PSI. Small numbers are KPA times 100 for our metric friends. And here we go. Full throttle. That's a significant problem. It's not even 30 PSI. What? This thing ran when I put it away last, and it hasn't been that long. I am thoroughly confused. I'm going to do a quick double check to make sure everything is plugged in correctly. This is threaded in, and it's tight. It's seating on the O-ring. Wow, this is mind gargling. There's definitely seating on the O-ring for sure. Let's go ahead and thread it in here. Make sure we're getting a good seal here. I'm going to blow on it. Yep, it's definitely sealing up nicely. There's definitely not an issue with this wand. I'm going to put my finger in the plug hole and see if that makes a difference. I'm having a really hard time believing that it has that low of compression. Because it doesn't sound like it has that low of compression. Because we get the just like that. Finger and go. No, there's nothing. Not a dang amount of squish in this engine. What has happened? Here we go. Let's see. Hi, honey. Let's see what in the heck is going on inside the engine. Oh, no. I can't. It's too large. No way. That's not cool at all. I see cross-hatching. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, I see a valve open. Let's see if I can just make sure things are moving inside the engine. Here we go. Let's tweak it. I see movement of the valve. I see movement of the piston. That's about it. That's really depressing. I can't get anything in there. Let's take off our... Look at that fat finger. Let's take off our protective lens here. Aha! There we go. But I can't do anything else. Well, we know that valve is moving. I see both valves moving. They're definitely both moving. The piston is moving, but we have no compression. Interesting. Let's see if I can hook up a normal battery charger and if we can slow things down a bit. Well, now what the heck do I do? I'm gonna have to think about this for a minute. I've never dug into an engine like this before. Shouldn't there be like a sight? Herc, buddy, I can't film with your cuteness right here. My goodness. So cute. You know, I wonder if something is stuck and maybe we can shoot some oil in there and just fire it up if we're lucky and maybe it'll unstick. In other news, it's gone from 85 to 60, so now I'm in long pants and a Carhartt. My body has adjusted and now it's upset by cold weather. Got some 1540 in my little can here. Let's fire that down there, put the plug in and see what the heck happens. This charger, the dinosaur charger, isn't doing a dang thing. This battery's just pure toast. All right, let's see if I get any more squish out of my finger. Holy moly! I wonder if it's just the rings. Maybe they got stuck? Dang, that was a that was a violent compression test. All right, only problem is it's gonna foul the plug like immediately. Maybe we can fire some of that oil out of there? Definitely feels better, and it's definitely oily, so I think we're gonna have like one shot between every start attempt. Maybe we'll get lucky. Let's try it out. Now I have to find the spark plug. Cross your fingers, folks. Seriously, cross them. Maybe cross your legs. Take your spine. Make it into a cross. I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm hoping whatever's stuck unlodges after the start attempt. We'll even get some ether on our side for this. Throat spray of the day. Providence. From the king of rurals. I'm sure that plug is fouled immediately. No spits, no sputters. Yeah, plug is soaked. Do we have any compression still? It's all gone. Checking for spark. Next to the ether-soaked air filter. Tons of spark. Give another shot of oil. Compression check. Yeah, tons of compression now. Fire a little ether in the cylinder. This thing's soaked in oil already. I haven't even done anything. I don't think this is gonna work, folks. Whew, that's hot. Okay, ether's in the plug hole. Fingers crossed. Dang, man. This episode may turn out to be strictly dedicated to this. You guys want to see something interesting? Thought to myself, the throttle doesn't seem to have much feedback. Well, let's take a look at how that throttle's working. Oh, let's go ahead and accelerate, shall we? Oh, wow, look at that. Let's accelerate, yeah. Why aren't we accelerating? The youngsters that were riding on this told me that it would not come down in speed. And I thought, oh, well, that's strange. I'll look at it another time. Here we are, looking at it now. Will this cause a lack of compression? I can't believe that cap vibrated off like that. That's pretty wild, if you ask me. I feel also like we're missing a threaded frickin' thing. This baby's vibrating apart. Well, I feel violently goofy right now. Let's see if that did anything. Here we go. Plug is probably toast, but now I can hear a change in the cranking noise when I give it throttle or don't. Yeah. All right, let's do a compression test. Let's clean the plug. Tight, tight. Get your stick. Get it. Let's clean this little guy up. And light it on fire. Let's check for spark yet again. Make sure this plug... Ah! Youchers! I'll use my brain one of these days. It's not going to be today, though. And go. Plenty of spark. And I see vapor coming out of the spark plug hole. Let's see if this made any change. Throttle is wide open. And go. No, not at all. I know, Titan. I know. Come here. Titan. It's Titan's turn, Hercules. I'm sorry that I can't throw the stick for you. But that won't help your leg. Okay? Alright, get going. Oh, be nice. Round 68. Now we'll try fuel in the cylinder again. Ouch! I feel puffs coming out the exhaust. Did you hear that? I'm going to try this about 37 more times, and then if I get it to fire, I'll include that clip. Or if I light it on fire. Did I just burn up the starter? Or did I seize the engine? The starter's warm, but it's not on fire. Well, that's not too promising. Okay, I found the crank socket. It is not focusing. 14 millimeter. Let's see. Engine seized, starter seized. I can go backward. I cannot go forward. Why? Unless the starter's seized, and now the engine is seized as a result. Unless, of course, these spin counterclockwise. Well, let's try again, see what happens. Okay, guess we're pulling the starter. I see one here, here, and that's about all I see. There must be a third one somewhere. All right, I'm guessing here's one. And there's two hiding down here. I think the top one is the third. There we go. She's coming out. Maybe. Now we got a wire stuck on the other side. Okay, I need a screwdriver. I'm not sure how I'm gonna get in there to get it off. Yep, this thing's pretty hot. I think I made a mistake. Doesn't want to come out anyway. Maybe we need to take this cover off here. No, we can't do that. That is this cover. That's not the cover for the starter. Maybe we can spin it the other direction now. Yep, we can. Okay, so the starter is locked up. That's great. There we go. Oh no, is that a sprocket? How the heck am I going to get that back in there? Oh, shows you how much I know about ATVs. This is getting very heavy. And go. No, I need a better ground. Nope, I definitely killed it. Well, son of a bee sting. That's depressing. Guess we're tearing the starter apart now. Alright, we'll keep that there for safekeeping. And we'll take our lava starter and bring it to the bench. Well, let's see what I did. Oh, good. Same size. All right, well, let's see if this explodes on me now. Okay, here we go. I'm sure there are some of you out there that know exactly. Oh, no. Okay, brushes and springs. What fell out? Where'd it go? It's like a piece of... Is that a rock? I don't know what the heck that is. Okay, I still see 2 healthy brushes. I still see 2 healthy springs. Motor, on the other hand, feels completely seized. Well, let's try to pluck it out. Teeth for teeth. Oh, no, it's not seized. Well, that's a problem. And that is a significant problem. Look at that. Oh man, it twisted, broke, excuse me, broke and then got stuck between the magnets and the motor. Where did it break off of? That's the next question. Okay, so this guy should have been down here. Its coating is now gone. Chances are it's spun over here. Yep, there's the other end. Wow. Well, I'm going to have to think about that for a bit. My goodness, my goodness. We're going to try to make this work. Interesting stuff, huh? I mean, it is. It's probably my fault because I was cranking on it so much, and it's still warm to the touch. Someone out there is going to roast me in the comments. Oh yeah, I'm going to get lit on fire. Okay, so here's my theory. I'm cranking and cranking and cranking. This thing's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. What happens? This wire starts to expand, because what happens when they get hot? They expand. It expands, gets caught in between the magnet and the, what's this called? Armature? Rotor. Rotor? Armature. Whatever. It gets caught between here and the magnet, tears the wire apart. So what are we going to do about it? This might be a little ridiculous. We're going to take these 2 wires. We're going to solder them back together. We're going to put some electrical tape underneath the wire. We're going to pull it over, down into its groove, and it's possible that Bob will be our uncle. I could also do the wise thing and buy a new starter. But why would we do that? What's the fun? Welcome back, folks. It's a new and grantasmal day. Actually, we're many days later. I have come up with an idea to fix what I have destroyed. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to open up this crimpy, and we'll take these guys, we will solder them together, we'll run it back around, and we'll recrimp it back in there. That sounded super, super motivational and super exciting. I need to first make sure we'll have a little extra, which we really won't. We're going to be cutting this pretty short. I'm going to highlight the channels that this wire needs to go through so that we remember which ones to actually put it in when we're done. Okay, so we know it goes through there, and we know it needs to go through here. Okay, there we go. Now, let's pull this guy out. And I'm going to go get a prying device, and we're going to open that up. Okay, here goes nothing. You gonna come off nice and easy? Oh, you are. What a good little wire you are. Let's see if we can straighten that wire out a little bit. It has seen better days. Don't know why. It's not like somebody tried to keep starting a machine over and over again. How irresponsible is that? I am curious though, would it run if we just removed this wire and tucked it in there? You want to test it? Nah, let's try to fix it a little bit. Sorry, I'm not super chatty today. I'm kind of tired. It's been a long week. I don't know why, but it's just going by really, really slow. My good buddy that picked up the Mercury brought me over all those odds and ends that he didn't need anymore. And this was included. Oh no, it does work. Okay, it still works. I charged up the battery. We'll see how well we can solder with it. See if we can prevent this from blasting all over the place this time. I think we're good. Let's see how well my super steady hand does. I wish I had a way to lock this into the on position. That's okay. It's hard to pick up heat off of small objects, in my opinion. Oh, I see smoke. Yep, she's hot. Hold your breath. I'm going to crouch down here and get awkwardly close. Did I get them together or did I just tin it? Yeah, just tinned it. All right, round 2. Come on, transfer your heat to the metal, please. There we go. Oh, that was a little painful. Hot? Not hot. Okay, there's our repair. Our repair. I don't really have a good type of sealant to put in there. If I had some epoxy, I would just cake it in there. I guess my other question is, does it matter if the metal touches this part of the rotor? I guess there's really only one way to find out. In all reality, this will last probably between 6 and 7 nanoseconds. Also known as, well, not at all. But I'd like to try it. Maybe we'll get lucky. We have just enough wire. What am I thinking? Gotta grab the right tool for the wrong job. It also probably doesn't matter if I wind this around the other way, like so. As long as it doesn't touch more than just one of the commutator areas. Use my belly, pull it tight, give it a squeeze. Make sure you grab an appropriate hammer. Well, I'll be. I mean, the wire is bare, yes, but I don't think we're touching anything we shouldn't be touching. That's a problem. Got a bulbous piece of solder right there. As long as we don't damage the coating on the wire next to it, it shouldn't really matter if this one's bald, right? Bald. As long as it doesn't touch another wire that's also missing its coating. Oh, I don't know, what the heck. Chances are it's going to get hot. Something's going to happen. It may melt into the next wire over. I don't know, let's try it out. It's not all an experiment, right? Now this is always the fun part when you're putting a motor back together. If I do say so myself. Thankfully, the springs decided to stay put. Ooh, that was painful. The neighbor just blasted something with his mower. It sounded terrible. It's really good for the braided wire, right? Oh, come on, light. Help me out here. All right. I would polish that, but I'm not going to. This goes into basically a gear reduction type setup down here. There we go. Get in there, little guy. Get in there. There you go. That's what I like to see. Okay, release. We are released. I don't actually know which way this spins. I don't even know which way the engine spins. Let's make sure there's no debris on our magnet here. Think we need any oil or grease on that bushing? Probably not, which is why we're going to go ahead and put some oil or grease on that bushing. This thing always excretes way too much. Yep, like I said. And there's very little good feedback on this thing. I just use it because it's neat and old. I'm sure there are rebuild kits out there for them. Oh no! Dang it! How many of you saw that coming? You knew that was going to happen, didn't you? My goodness. Got a bunch of talkers tonight. Oh, thank goodness. Now I have enough charge I can actually turn on my flashlight. I can't find the way to hold it. Oh, this is not going to work. I guess, what happens if you have one dead wire? You get a dead spot in the motor and you can't start it? Wow, I got it. All right. We still have rotation, I believe, even though we're trying to do an overdrive rotation here. Yep. Oh man, place your bets. I'm guessing that it's going to work initially, and then it's going to heat cycle a couple times, and that'll probably be it. Good news is, though, after all this fun experimentation, I did find one online. I showed you the price, I do believe. Who's ready for a bench test? I am. This will either go really well, or it won't go at all. Gulu needs to be charged. I wonder why. It's not like we tried to start an engine with it 300 times. All right. Constant power is on. You ready? You don't even want to touch it. Oh! Oh, this is great. Next time, we'll just remember to let the starter cool. Okay, so I've been doing a little bit of research, and I believe in order to get the starter mounted back onto its chain, we need to remove this cover on the front here. Obviously, it does not contain any oil, so we don't have to worry about that, but we do need to take this footrest out. Thank you. Maybe we don't. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is down here. Well, let's just pop those 4 off and see if we can remove the cover without having to go nuts on this thing. Oh well, that appears to be a contact wire. Ah, not the same size. I'll put that one there. Well, it's free-ish. Nope, I can't get it off. I gotta pull this. Bummer. Aha. There you are, little guy. Get the magnet out. Why can I not find a nut that is robust enough not to strip out on this thing? I don't get it. Oh, good. I'll be back. Well, I forgot to hit record, but you didn't miss much. I'm starting to take these out. On the back side, we have a nut, a washer, a bushing on the front, and the bolt head. Let's speed this up a little bit, shall we? Those 6 pieces are gone. Now we have 2 bolts on the bottom. Leveled 3. My, they did not want that to go anywhere. And let's do it again. Okay, that one came off instantly. I'm guessing the first one was rusted on there, or somebody used a little cross-thread hillbilly Loctite. Think this thing will come off here now? Oh, beautiful. Here we go. Am I missing something? I just bashed my head into the handlebar in the same spot. I took a twig to the ear while brush hogging today. Feels really good. Why don't we take that off? I have no idea what the heck it is. I'm sure there are a few of you out there yelling at me. But, like I said, this is not a channel of how to properly fix something. This is a channel of how you can wreck it first and then try to fix it. And it didn't really do a whole lot. It looks just kind of like a window, so you can find top dead center, perhaps. I'm guessing this is our charging system. Here's our chain for our starter motor. When we're cranking, starter motor cranks, engine counterclockwise. It's a clutch, a one-way clutch, or sprag, whatever you want to call it. And then, pow, it fires up, and just freewheels. Clutch disengages. Let's get that little guy back in there. I want to hear this thing crank before I go to bed. All right, I have installed the hot wire back onto the starter. Now let's see if we can finagle this back into its pedaggle. That sounded completely ridiculous. Wearing my pajama shorts was not wise when attempting to lean over objects or lay on your knees. Oh, okay, we're good. Gotta get some bolts back in there. Stay, little guy, stay. So there's a rubber O-ring around the starter that's supposed to essentially sit inside of this housing here. I'm having trouble getting it on there. Trying to see if maybe... Yep. Oh, there we go. I just had to treat it like it owed me money. In progress after we took about 25 steps backward. All right, let's watch this thing crank. The spark plug is not in currently. And go. Okay. Nice. So I could hypothetically hook up a drill to this and spin it way faster to see if we can boost compression, huh? The gears are churning in my gourd. Ow! It's been fun, folks. I'm going to bed. I'll see you hopefully more energized and ready for some new and extra dry humor tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, thanks for the egg. Welcome back, folks. It's a new and beautiful day. I'm feeling good. Feeling good today. I think I have a plan. Also, have the lucky attire on as well. I will admit, the methods that I used to try to get this running were pretty poor. Zero diagnosis whatsoever. So, what I'd like to do, we're going to rotate this baby up to TDC. Both valves closed. We're going to plug in the wand, apply some air pressure, and see if we can figure out where the air is leaking from. Alright, we know we're counterclockwise. F and T. T makes me think top dead center. What the heck is F? Oh, F for fire? That's where it fires. This is where TDC actually is. Honestly, it probably doesn't even matter. I could probably hook air up to the cylinder and rotate the crank, and I would not get any resistance or pushback from the air pressure because this thing is so low on compression. Got my wand here. I'm going to thread it in. Pretty exciting, huh? Let's get some air pressure. Alright, folks. We have crankcase open to atmosphere. Our wand is plugged in to the air source. And we don't really need a whole lot. Just enough to be able to hear. I hear nothing. I can't tell though with Titan's hot breath in my ear. One moment. Okay. Let's bring the pressure up more. I'm extremely confused right now, unless for some reason this isn't transferring. Oh, I never took the Schrader valve out. Dang it. I was like, yeah, got a sweet plan. And then I failed to execute it. We'll get there, folks. We will get there. All right, put that little guy right there. Well, at least we know the wand's valve is nice and tight seal. All right, let's try this again. Oh, yeah. Nope, it's not there. Exhaust for sure. And there's a ton of air coming out there. How about the intake if I plug the exhaust? Let's see if we can get this to quiet down. Okay, both valves are shut right now because we're on the way up to the compression stroke. What is going on? I gotta think about this. Well, here we are again with the scope. Trying to understand what's going on down here. So let's take a look. Okay, so this says we're at top dead center. top dead center, both valves closed, right? Now, this should be, what do we have here? Is this the intake stroke? All right. Compression. Power. Exhaust. Okay. Intake. It looks like it's timed correctly. Compression. And right now we are at top dead center. Okay, so this should be where everything's closed. Sorry, I had to figure that out the hard way. Here we go. Okay, we're... Traffic. All right, we are wanded. We are... Okay, massive air leak. It's not the exhaust. It's the intake valve. Let's go a little bit past top dead center. Well, all the way down the firing stroke, we have an air leak. Okay, well, let's pop these inspection covers off and see what our rockers are doing. So I've seen other people take this stance with their machines. Shouldn't cause any issues. All the oil will drain away from the piston. Got our oil plug in, fuel tank sealed, whatever. We'll find out if something starts to leak, right? Took the inspection covers off. There is our exhaust valve. That has 0 lash. I can wiggle it side to side just a skounch, but there is no clicky from an up and down motion on the valve. So that's not great. Makes me wonder if the valves are starting to pound into the seats for some reason. And then again, are you supposed to check lash with it warm or with it cold? If it were warm, the lash would be gone, right? Because the valves start to expand. Oh, so much mess. This will be a tough one for you to see. You'll just have to take my word for it. Yeah, absolutely no lash. Okay, so help me out here. Why would we suddenly lose all of our valve lash? Guess I just don't understand. And it's not like it's a timing issue, right? So I can rotate our crank wheel anywhere throughout that power stroke, and the intake valve is tight as can be. There's absolutely 0 valve lash. Let's go all the way to the bottom. You should be able to see the exhaust valve start to open once we get toward bottom dead center, because typically the exhaust valve will open before you reach top dead center. Okay, exhaust valve is open. What? You okay? It's what I'm talking about. It's his legs. He just walks sometimes and he makes a yelp and then it scares the heck out of me. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Anyway, so now the exhaust valve is open. We're making our way back to top dead center, where now the intake valve should start to open, which also typically happens before top dead center. Yep, right before TDC we just start to crack open. And we also have valve overlap. So the exhaust and intake valve at this point are slightly both open. That's fairly common. They call that scavenging, I do believe. Essentially what's happening, the exhaust is leaving the cylinder, okay? That exhaust has velocity. It creates almost like a small suction, okay? As that valve starts to close and the intake starts to open, that small little velocity and suction helps the new intake charge start to make its way into the cylinder. It's like a jump start, I guess you could say. Anyway, I digress. Big words. We have overlap right now. So now, as I continue down the intake cycle, I can see the intake valve is opening like it's supposed to. We get to the bottom, intake valve has closed. We're making our way back up to top dead center. We should be on compression stroke, and right about where the F was, that's where the spark plug fires. Both of these should be closed, and both of these should not be totally tight. These are overhead cam, right? Why don't we pull off the cam cover and take a look at the cam? You want to do that? I do too. All right, here we go. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these 4 round top nuts should allow us to remove this little plate and take a look at the camshaft. Maybe we can see if there's a ton of wear up there. Maybe it's dry and we have issues with oil circulation. I don't know, but I can tell you the oil is full and it's where it should be. I've been yakking a lot. Let's continue on. What do you think that is? 12? Probably a 10. Oh, let me guess. It's a 10. I was like, oh, well, let me try to size it up for once. See if I can accurately use my eyeball to find the right size wrench. Nope, not today, folks. Not today. All right, 10 millimeter. Here we go. Note to self and a note to you all: these are not violently tight. These are mildly tight. I bet I have a 10 millimeter ratcheting wrench. I do, and it's not gone. No, never mind. They're already loose. What a waste. 3 of these are steel washers. 1 of these is a copper washer. Why? This bottom left on the exhaust side is a copper washer. Is that because it needs extra sealing down here? I don't know. Okay, note to self. Bottom left washer is copper. There's also an up arrow on this cover, which is kind of nice. Points up. Lets you know which side goes in the correct orientation. I'm guessing that's kind of important. Use my multi-purpose chisel here. See if we can not destroy the gasket. You guys enjoying Titan's hot breath? He dropped a stick at your feet and he's waiting for you to throw it. Don't do it. Okay, let's have a look. Here's the cover. Nothing too exciting. There's the up arrow. That is not a gasket. Yes, it is a gasket. Never mind. It looks metallic. Interesting. Okay. You see anything down there? I can't really see anything. You're going to have to be my eyeballs. Alright, let's do a rotation. See what we can or cannot see. I see plenty of oil. There's our lobe. Here comes our other lobe. See any wild marks on it? I don't. Guess maybe there's a little bit of side scrubbing on the lobe. I mean, I can see the presence of oil. Is that a... Yeah, it almost looks like that intake valve is wearing down that lobe. I wonder if our oil type is either wrong or we need to do a change. Let's get a better view on this, shall we? I think someone just drove by with a septic truck. Holy cow. This is very unpleasant on my nose right now. That's a little better. Okay, let's do this again. Is that an oiling hole? That's got to be an oiling passage, right? I wish I had a better view. I think it's just wearing out, is what I think. And maybe it was ridden pretty hard, and maybe it tipped over and ran on its side for a little while. He did say he had a little bit of an accident and he fell off, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it's ran on its side for a bit, starved of oil. I don't know. That might explain why it wouldn't restart. Trying to look at the exhaust side. There we go. If I can just hold it there while rotating. You see any wildness? There's our hole. There's oil. Yeah, I don't see any wear like we do on the other side. Okay. Alright, well, I'm done. I don't know. I don't have a good answer as to what's going on. Obviously, something happened that may have starved the top end of oil, and it's possible that's what helped wipe some of the material off the camshaft on the intake side. But what I need to do now is look up where and what to set our lash to. So I went ahead and decided to start putting this back on. The reason being, I better be able to line up the T mark. The T is where you're supposed to line up. I did a little research. The T that's in here, you line up with the dash here, and that's where you should have, that's where you should properly set your valve lash. And wouldn't you know it, I don't think I even have to adjust it. Yeah, that was the T right there. Okay, so I pretty much had it where it needed to be, basically just in the center of that hole, from what I understand. That should be good. Valves should both be closed at this point. I'll do an explanation because I won't be able to show you very well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen that top nut right there. And then we're going to take a little teeny socket and we're going to wind that out until we get 0.08 millimeters. Chinese engine, metric specs. I'll tell you what 0.08 is in standard. And then, once this little guy is set where it's supposed to be, we'll hold it and tighten the nut on the outside. And with any luck, we will have compression back, as long as the valves didn't get burned. Well, turns out I don't have any sockets small enough to fit the little nub on top of this valve, so we're going to have to use old adjusty here. All right, 9 millimeters of fury. Holy cow, that thing is tight. Now we're going to thread this little guy out. Good news is it rotates nice and freely. All right, that's a lot. Okay, well, I do not have 0.08 millimeter. We have 0.10 millimeter and 0.076 millimeter. So we're just going to do 0.1. Now we're going to go in between the rocker and the valve. Tell you what, I wound that out a lot. And it barely has any play in it. Tighten that up a bit. Stay there. Thank you. So now that I'm back by you guys again, let's tighten her up a bit, shall we? Yep, that's definitely pretty tight. So now we need to hold that little teeny centerpiece and tighten around it. Now that we're tight, one last check. 0.10. 0.1 fits, but it's very tight. So I think I'm just going to call it, because otherwise I'm going to drive myself insane attempting to get this closer than what it is. Okay, on to the next valve. I'm on a roll. Forgot to hit record. Doesn't really matter. This one does have some play in it, but I can't get the little teeny guys in there. I tried 0.10. I cannot get that in there. 0.076 millimeter, also known as 3 thou, as the cool kids say. Thou. And I cannot get that in there either. So let's open her up a bit. I already loosened the outside jam nut. Okay, now it goes in there very easily. Go up to 4 thou, also known as 0.102 millimeter. Yeah, okay, it fits no problem. Let's tighten her down a bit. Yep, alright, I could barely get that out. So, that should give us what we need. This is my first time adjusting valves, so it's quite a new and exciting experience for me. I bet it is for you too. Not at all. It's like watching paint dry, except instead you're watching oil, and it's returning back to its original state, because it's taking so long. Somewhat loosely, I can hear a little teeny tap. Alright, I'm good with that. We're done, folks. Holy cow. Are you awake? Because I'm barely awake. That was so exhausting. Put the caps on, take it home. Send it home. Take it out. I don't know what's going on right now. Let's just put it back together. Alright, folks. Cam cover is back on. Valve covers are both back on. Compression wand installed. Oh man, moment of truth. I'm not freaking out. You're freaking out. Okay, alright, I'm freaking out a little bit. Alright, run position. Throttle wide open. Okay, here we go. I didn't put the Schrader valve back in. Oh. I remember my first day fixing a four-wheeler. Well, it kind of is like my first day. Like I said, you gotta learn somewhere, right? Gotta start somewhere. Round 2, full throttle, choke is off, we're in the on position, blah, 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 and go. Well, folks, I think we have all of the compression. Nope, starter just gave out. Oh, man, we were so close, so close. That, as they say, is that. Is this familiar to anyone or just me? Must be just me. Thankfully, I'm getting really good at removing the starter. I'm guessing the same failure mode. We're stuck inside. No, we're really not stuck inside. Yep, same failure mode. Okay, it's still intact, Interesting. I figured it would have been the solder joint that would pop out. It's not. I have to really stretch that baby out. Holy cow. I'm surprised the wire stretched so much. Look how thin it got. That's why it's so stretched. Oh, geez. Now what do we do? Do we even need it, is my other question. Can we survive without a wire? Or are they truly all linked together? I don't believe so. I believe they're linked in segments of the commutator. I think that's called a commutator. Yep, that broke again. Get that out of there. I think I'm going to cut it right here. Worst case scenario, I pry that wire up, we solder it there, we solder it there, we reconnect it over wherever the heck it was. And then we'll just take this guy. We're going to tuck it in underneath the commutator. So I got that tucked in there. Will it stay? You know what? We're going to do something else funny. Yes, I'm actually doing this. Let's see if it'll still work. You ready? I'm ready. And... oh, dead spot. That or I blew up the gulu. Try again. Nope. I get an error. Okay, well, it's not going to work. How surprising is that? Well, how about this? How about rather than doing a full loop around, coming back through here and then connecting here. Was it there? Yeah, that was there. You can see the little gap there. How about we strip it here, connect it there, then the circuit is completed, but we lose some of the power of the motor. Would that work? I think it would. And I think we're going to try it. We just lose a little bit of the field, right? Okay, so we're going to want to trim it right there. Do a little strip. Okay. Okay. Let's try again. Oh heck. We'll even polish our contact surface here. Oh, look at that. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. That is what I like to see. And the gulu timed out. All right, time to reinstall. Whoop! We did a bench test. It benches. Let's go ahead and do the compression test again. Put some heat into it again. See if it'll survive. Power, the usual. Go. Look at that. 190 psi. Thing has some serious squish. What have we learned from this episode so far? Well, we have learned that the YouTubers that crank and crank and crank and crank and crank some more get really lucky. And they haven't tried it on Chinese quads before. Because it turns out you can melt down a starter. You just gotta find the right starter to melt down. Okay, let's get that plug back in there. No, I'm not going to change the oil right away, because I think what happened, I see a crack here, not a crack, but I see paint flaking, like it was tipped. Youngster that was riding this told me that he got in a bit of an accident. Made sure he was okay first, of course. I'm guessing it ended up on its side, there was some oil starvation, it eventually choked itself out, and that is potentially what hurt the camshaft. You'd be surprised how quickly an engine dies without oil. I worked at a place where they did cash for clunkers, as sad as that is. And I was one of the technicians that had to go, I call it euthanize. They had to go euthanize the vehicles. You'd be surprised when they starve of oil how quickly they die. Unless it's a 4-liter inline-6 Jeep, those things last a long time. Thanks, buddy. You can take it. Go ahead, take it out. Fetch it up. Fetch it up. I don't want it. I don't want to sit on it. I don't want to stick in my butt. Fetch it up. Come on. All right. All right, folks. Let's see what happens. Probably about a liter of oil in the cylinder. So I have a feeling she might smoke a bit. And here we go. I don't even have to choke on it. Guys want to go for a ride? You guys ready? All right, let's do it. Oh, jeez. I always forget how fast these things are. But they vibrate so bad at higher RPM. I totally understand why I'm losing all kinds of parts off of these. Hey guys, I saw a deer run out of here a little while ago. Reminds me, we had a golden retriever. His name was Orion, like Orion's belt. He and I were walking through here, and he walked right by a fawn that was bedded down. And that's their instinct, right? They get afraid. Mom runs away, baby lays down, and they're scentless when they're young. So he didn't even pick up on the scent at all. He just walked right on by like it wasn't even there. It was cool. This thing's running well. Let's take it back before I jinx it. Man, this thing is torquey. That's a real word, I think. I should stop talking. Look out, buddy. All right. Oh man, what a great day. Hey, look, a stick. I don't think Titan put that one there, did he? No, I don't think so. We can give it to him though. Here you go, bud. Here you go. Easy. Good boy. I think it only appropriate, now that this thing has been through a heat cycle, the engine's all hot, we test this one more time. Brake and go. Let's run her out of gas. I can't turn the gas off, right? Alright, I'm done with that. Let's suck in fuel from somewhere. It stinks in here. Ah. Okay, we are done for now. Well, that was quite an adventure, which ended up in a giant rabbit hole due to my irresponsibility. But it was fun. I learned something new. I can't believe it. I almost forgot. They're new, but they're my wife's. I stole them. Yeah, mine are still hanging around. I was like, what the heck? You got yourself new Crocs? And she goes, okay, I'll buy you some new ones. Just like that. Actual voice representation. No, not at all. Oh, you're wondering about this nice little Cub Cadet over here, huh? Well, my neighbor called me up and said, hey man, I got a mower. It's been sitting for years. You get it going for me? I said, yeah man, I can do that. So you'll see this on the next episode. All right, folks. I think that's all she wrote. You see people all the time talking about starter motors and how they need to cool off. Well, now you know, especially on a cheap Chinese four-wheeler, they should cool off. There's a lot of people on YouTube that get super lucky with their starter motors. But I had fun diagnosing it. I had fun tearing it apart. Hopefully you did too. Maybe you learned something about electric motors. You know, let's try this. Does it work? Let's try this. Does it work? Yeah, but not very well. I'll put that starter motor in my Amazon cart, and we'll keep it for safekeeping in there, the save for later pile, until this one decides to puke. They don't get ridden much, so I don't foresee it being a problem too soon. Insert jinxed. That was the first time I've had to set valve lash. Never would have thought it had low compression. We'll just keep running it. I'll do an oil change on it here in the near future. I need to find out what kind of oil it's going to use. We'll have the chainsaw on here soon. I bought some very Chinese parts for it. We'll try them out, see if they work any better. All right, I'm done yakking. You know what's funny is in non-YouTube life, I'm kind of an introvert. I don't really talk very much, but some reason when I'm here, I talk more. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Funny story. I'm so long-winded today that I just ran out of storage and had to find something to delete. All right, as always, thanks for joining in. If you find yourself in the future very bored and looking for an awesome adventure, come on back, I'll be here. We'll see you then. Let's see what I can trip over and make it funny. Yeah, I got nothing. I'll see you next time. Knuckles!